sold the garage, sold the house. The house and the garage was the same place anyway. That's where I grew up
They
as well.
sold it to support your racing?
Yeah.
F1, most richest versus poorest drivers of all time. And even some drivers sell their own house for the racing, and they proving themselves. And some drivers, fathers, buys their own teams in F1. Let's break it down.
Some kids had the luxury to be able to be in race teams or in factory teams, have, mechanics, a lot of different engines. I had one used chassis, two used engines that we chose carefully. And we were recycling tires at testing, going to the bin, taking some tires from other kids that were still warm but still in very good condition, putting them on testing.
Esteban Ocon's parents made a decision most people wouldn't dare consider. His dad, Laurent, was a mechanic. His mum, Sabrina, ran a small garage in northern France. When young Esteban showed promise in karting, they sold everything. Their house, their garage, all gone. The family lived in a caravan for years, traveling from race to race. While other kids had factory teams and fresh engines, Ocon had one used chassis. He literally pulled tires from bins, taking warm rubber other wealthy kids threw away.
The first time you came across Max Verstappen?
And in go-kart, it was those years, when we were with my dad against, him and his dad. His dad had the experience before because he raced in go-kart, so they had a little bit of an advantage on that side. But to be fair, it was very fiery, but, we wanted to race hard, and we've raced hard. We've raced really hard, and at times we crossed lines, I've enjoyed the racing with Max. I've always enjoyed. I think tough racing is always cool to me. Racing side by side, being very close. That's what racing is all about.
Goes.
What an idiot! What an idiot!
Effects of turn two.
Ocon's on super soft tyre. Out within the regular.
Can't leave me space then.
Kimi
Raikkonen.
from Daniel coming in and a good race from you.
Vous avez fait de belles courses sous la pression de Daniel Ricciardo. Oui, c'était pas simple.
Obviously, we all better, but not the easiest.
Obviously, Ferrari's tyre choice didn't look like it worked out in the end. These guys looked very strong at the beginning, certainly Max on the super soft. Do you think that was wrong?
I don't know, my tyre was good, but it was difficult.
In 2011, with this recycled equipment, he finished second in the WSK Euro Series. Who beat him? Max Verstappen, whose dad was a former F1 driver with deep pockets. Mercedes spotted his talent and signed him to their junior program. By 2017, he had a full-time F1 seat. Ocon later said, "The strength my parents had to do this, it's nuts. I probably wouldn't take that risk if I were in their shoes."
I just found out that Michael Schumacher once paid $1 million to see his teammate's contract and then made money. Back in 1993, Schumacher was driving for Benetton, but before Schumacher signed, his contract stated that he had to be the better earning driver in the team. Benetton agreed to this clause and Schumacher signed a contract earning him $2 million at the time, but later on in the season, McLaren started dropping hints that Schumacher wasn't actually the highest paid driver at Benetton. Schumacher's team offered Patrese $1 million to show them his contract with Benetton. And as you can imagine, the Italian driver, who already didn't have the best relationship with the Benetton team, took the $1 million and handed over his contract. The crazy part is, Riccardo Patrese was earning $3 million from Benetton, Schumacher was absolutely distraught, and the Benetton boss Flavio Briatore didn't seem to have any control of the situation. In fact, he was so worried that he was going to lose Schumacher, he offered the German driver a $20 million contract.
Before 7 world championships and $600 million net worth, Michael Schumacher raced in a kart built from garbage. His father Ralph was a bricklayer who managed a local kart track in Herth, Germany. His mother ran the track's canteen. Michael's first kart, assembled from parts Ralph found in trash bins, old engines, discarded wheels, whatever could be salvaged. As bills mounted, young Michael worked as a mechanic, fixing his kart and other racers' equipment just to keep racing. Local businessman Jürgen Dilk became his first sponsor. Manager Willy Weber provided crucial backing. Schumacher won the 1990 German F3 Championship. In 1991, Eddie Jordan gave him his F1 debut. 7 World Championships later, the kid who started with garbage became the greatest driver in history.
He is the perfect example of why money can't buy talent. His father, a Russian billionaire, bought his way into Formula 1. Dmitry Mazepin heavily funded the Haas team, which helped his son, Nikita Mazepin, to secure a spot on the grid in 2021. And while other drivers worked their way up through junior categories based on merit, Mazepin's path was built on his father's wealth. But despite securing a seat, Nikita struggled in Formula 1. Before I tell you how the story ends, make sure to follow for more Formula 1 content. He often finished at the back of the pack and was involved in multiple on-track incidents, earning the nickname Mazepin. His performances did very little to silence the critics who question if he truly belongs in the sport. And after just one season, Mazepin's Formula 1 career ended when Haas terminated his contract following the sanctions in Russia in 2022.
Nikita Mazepin, Haas F1 team.
Nikita Mazepin is the poster child for "Daddy's money can't buy talent." His father Dmitry is a Russian oligarch worth $2.2 billion through fertilizer company Uralchem. To be fair, Nikita showed early promise, finishing second in the 2014 Karting World Championship behind Lando Norris. But in F3, the cracks appeared. In 2016, he literally punched fellow driver Callum Eilert in the face at Hungaroring. His F2 career was mediocre at best. So how did he reach F1? In 2021, Haas was desperate for cash. Uralchem became title sponsor and Nikita got his seat. His 2021 season was a disaster. Constant spins earned him the nickname Mazepin. He collided in the pit lane in Monaco and was consistently the slowest driver on track. He blamed everyone but himself.
Politics have always used sports as a way of power.
You woke up in the morning and you were a Formula 1 driver, and next day you had to take your suit on and go to the office.
So I was born in Russia. The best competition was always outside. So you had to be outside to become somewhat good in the sport. Eye-opening was waking up in the morning and seeing an email saying that we decide that you're no longer with us because of the negative hype that's going on against your country. If I have to suffer for my country to lose my Formula 1 drive but be in the same boat with Russia, I'm happy to do that any day.
When Russia invaded Ukraine in 2022, Haas terminated his contract. Billions got him in the door but couldn't make him belong.
And what advice would you give to fathers as well?
Nobody ever says, when you have a kid, here's a manual. All right? So you have to make it up as you go. We all make mistakes. You know, nobody ever is perfect. But the one thing that you always want, I think, as a parent, is you want your kid to be better than you. We know as adults what mistakes we've made. And so we want to make sure our kids don't make the same mistakes, but become better people than we are.
And last but not least, what does your son mean to you, the one and only Lewis Hamilton? What does he mean to you?
You know, yeah, it's amazing. I mean, I remember when Lewis was 6 years of age, messing about with, remote control cars around the back of our house. You always just hope that they're going to grow up decent human beings, become decent individuals. And that for me is the proudest thing. He's a phenomenal individual. Both him and my other son, Nicholas, probably two of the most amazing people I know. And hopefully they're inspirational for others.
Lewis Hamilton's father, Anthony, is the unsung hero. Anthony worked 4 jobs simultaneously to fund Lewis's karting. He slept in their car between races to save money on hotels. But Anthony didn't just provide money, he provided strategy. He'd walk tracks studying where fast drivers braked, then tell Lewis, "Brake later than them, you'll be faster coming out." Lewis would protest, but Anthony insisted, "Do it again." Eventually, Lewis could brake later than everyone, becoming his trademark advantage. At 13, McLaren's Ron Dennis signed Lewis to their junior program. 7 world championships and $450 million later, Lewis credits his father's sacrifice for everything. Lance Stroll's father, Lawrence, is worth $3.9 billion from fashion deals with Tommy Hilfiger and Michael Kors. He's the 812th richest person in the world. The absurd privileges: Lawrence owns Circuit Mont-Tremblant, racetrack in Canada, $180 million car collection, including a $50 million Ferrari, 250 GTO. Lance flew to karting events in private jets. Ex-F1 driver Pedro de la Rosa was his personal coach from day one. Before Lance touched Formula 4, Lawrence invested $60 million into Prima Racing. Lance won the 2014 Italian F4 Championship with this backing. Formula 1 might be the billionaire boys' club, but the greatest stories come from drivers who had nothing to lose and everything to prove. Drop a like if you enjoyed this, subscribe for more F1 content, and let me know in the comments who had the toughest road to Formula 1.